Hello, everyone. So we are going to start episode 8 of season 3 in Python. So today we are going to learn how to use the while loop, which is the one of the most important the syntax of command of the Python. Actually, it's not only Python, but any other computer program languages. The last week we learned about the if statement, conditional statement, and the while loop. Today we are going to see, and the next week the for loop. These three are the basic, the control statement of any program languages. So if you learn the computer programming first time, I think that this is very important, and probably you will use. No matter what program language you use, I think that is the most important statement and command in any program languages. So please download and unzip the Anyone Python, the episode 8, the file. The I think the last minute I changed a couple of things also. So if you do not download yet, so please download from the link I sent, or the Urban or the Trinity. Can you copy and paste the link to download to the chat box? Then the student can download and unzip, then create your the project folder using the what is that? The PyCharm. Okay, so before we start, so let me stop share. So this one, and anyone who remember we had a homework before? If you remember the homework that I gave you, actually not homework, so it's the small things that I ask you to find. Anyone to practice? Yes, the definitely practice is the important one. So last week we learned about the Unix time. So Unix time, the actually the time itself is a very the human perception. So it's a human perspective. It's the just not existing, but we use a lot. So people define the this is the second, this is a minute, this is the month, like that. So we use and agree to use such a the time. And what about computer? So computer is the same thing. So actually the computer use the tick. That is the kind of the physically the define the period and tick and count the number of tick from when. Anyone who remember the when is the start date of the Unix time? The in other words, it's called the epoch. When is the epoch of the Unix time? Unlike the human time, our time, the computer has the starting of the time. Yes, right. It's January 1st, 1970, 00000000, like that. So usually computer measure the up to 1 millions. So 1 millions of time. So that from that time, the January 1st, 1970, the 00000000, then we count the number of ticks. It's every second. And we can calculate. But why is the 1970? So that was my question. So even I do not know the answer, exact answer. So why is the 1970? So anyone who the research why the computer use the Unix time starting from the January 1st, 1970? What about the Trinity? Do you have any idea? Why is the 1970?
Um, no.
No. Elvin, do you have any idea? Elvin, no? Okay, then. So why don't you open this is the idea, okay? It's not verified yet. So why don't you open your browser? Let me share the desktop. Then open. And why don't you search the history of the Unix? So using the history of Unix. Then select the first as a user is Wikipedia. So if you go to if you do the Google search, so as I said, the Google is much better than me. So then the search the history of Unix. So Unix is the one of, as I briefly introduced, there is another type of operating system. So like you are using the macOS or you are using the Windows, the Unix is another, the computer operating system. So then if you click this one, so the figure shows the history. It's the last time I introduced the My Family Tree book. So do you remember the My Family Tree book? Oh, it's not here. Oh, here. So this is the family tree book. So last time I introduced this one. So Unix had the family, the tree, the history of the family tree, the book. So when is the start year of the Unix system? When is the first time? If you see this left hand side, what was the year? So what was the year when the first Unix operating system invented? Anyone? It's a 1969, Jonathan, very nice. So it was named as the PDP-7 operating system. So it was, yes, Maria, the 1969. Actually, in 1969 happened a lot of things. So, for example, when was the first time when the human, the being, we land on the moon first time? When was the year? What is the year when it's a 69, right? The uh who was who landed on the moon first time? It's the Neil Armstrong. So Neil Armstrong landed on the moon the first time 1969. Yes, it's a real Armstrong. Very nice. Then in 1969, so also later, if you are interested in the computer science, so you will learn about the database. So nowadays we are using a lot of database, whether or not you heard about this. So for example, there is a very, very popular software company which is called the Oracle. So Oracle actually produced the database system. So in 1969, the first database system was proposed by the Dr. E.F. Code from IBM. It was also 1969. Okay, and then there is another important thing happened in 1969 also in computer science history. Anyone who knows? I think I mentioned during the season 1 or season 2. So something important thing happened in 1969. Any idea? I can give the gift at the end of the season if you find the answer. So what was the another the important the event happened in computer science history in 1969? No idea? You cannot find from Google this. Nobody? So actually the 1969 Professor Lee was born. Okay, so that is another big event in computer science history. So I was born in the 1969, but so that's it. You don't have to memorize it. But the first time the Unix system was the project name PDP-7. Then 1970, the first Unix system is named as a Unix 1970. So from that time, 1970, It's called the Unix operating system. I think, I guess, because it was the 1970 when the Unix was named the first time. So people, the developer of the operating system, Unix system, computer system, they'd like to use the epoch of the Unix time from 1970, January 1st. That's my guessing, but it's not the proof. So, but the people, there were different epoch of the Unix system. Some of the system used the 1971, 72, but nowadays, most of computer system use the 1970, January 1st as the epoch starting of the computer time. Okay, so that was the uh, request to research on the Unix system, why we use the 1970 January 1st as the epoch of the Unix system. Okay, then don't forget there were several important things happened 1969 also. Okay, so then we are going to start the uh, while loop today. So I think if you already took the season one, we learned about the while loop in Carol. Okay, this is just for your reminder. So during the annual Python season one, the while loop was used like this one. So we can use the front is clear. So anyone who remember what is this kind of the thing? This is a Carol what? The function, especially this is called the test function. So we can use the test function to check whether front is clear. In the Carol word, the Carol is moving only inside the Carol word. So there's Carol. So whether the front is clear. If clear, then we can move like that. So we can use such a test function for if statement or while statement. So output of the test function is what? What are the values of the test function? Anyone who remember? So what is the output of the front is clear function? True or false? Very nice. So this is the only true or false. So this true or false is another data type that we discussed the last time. What is the name of the data type? Binary. So we learned the different name of the binary. Instead of binary, last week it's named after the mathematician who died, the two core. So anyone who remember? Boolean, yes. So this is called the Boolean data type. So we can use the Boolean data type also in while statement. Then what is the while, by the way? So while means, so we can use the while if this is the test function is true, then run this one. The in if statement is just one time, right? So if you are using the if instead of while, so if statement just only one time, we can run this. However, while statement is the different. So if this one in use is true, like this one, then run the body. Okay, then go back to while statement again. Okay, then check the condition test function again. Then if true, then run it again. Then go back. Until when? Until this test function is true. Okay, so while is very similar as the if. However, if statement is just one time the run the body. However, while statement is forever until when this test function is true. So in other words, first we can use the true or false in this the test function, like as a condition, then the body will be run as long as this condition is true. Very simple. So at this time, this one time run is called a loop. So this is called a loop. Or sometimes it's called the iteration. So this while is called sometimes while loop. So the title of the today's episode is called the while loop. So loop is called one iteration. So while loop is forever until this test function is true. So that is a while loop. Very simple. So let's the see the example of the while loop that we have learned in the season one. If you do not do not know Carol, it's a very simple. Just follow me. So why don't you open your the project 8? So this time, so if you already downloaded before, I think that you can download it again, or you can do the later. So you can see the move to work. If you cannot see this file, the pretty much you download earlier. So you can download it again the later, then you can see. So for your reminder, so to use the carrot, so we can delete the past always. Then while loop, we are going to use a while loop to solve this problem. So this is a very simple problem. So carrot is moving the here, here, here. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 time move. Then the final output will be like this one. This is our goal. So Carol can use the move function. So here's the question. So to make the Carol move to the end of a word like this, how many times you need to move? How many times? How many times you need to move? 6 times, 6 times. So Maria, very nice. Minion and Daniel, very nice. So we can solve the problem like this. Move and move and move. If you are tired to type everything, so you can copy and paste. Paste. How many times? 5, 6. Okay, let's see whether it works. So to run the program as a user Python 3 and move to word.py, then run it. Then you can see this pop the window. Then run the program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So that's it. However, what if you use the different word? So like for example, in this case, let me change. So this is the A, and this is the word. And this time the 4 by 4. So what if I run this program? Let's run it. Then you can see it's crashed because I give the 6 time of move, but this carol word has only 1, 2, 3 move is possible. So this is the solution, but this one is working only one word. It's not general solution. So we try to make the general solution. So this time we can use the while loop. So while, so we try to make the move. Keep moving until when? Until when? Front is clear, like this. If front is clear, move. If not clear, you can stop. Then don't forget, and always end with colon. Colon means what? Colon means today is If you do not respond, it will be very hard for me to continue the lecture. Code block, yes, very nice. So which means we are going to give the indentation and give the what? Command. So this body, this block will be run until front is clear. Is it true? So let's see whether this one is working. So you can run the same program. Then run it. Then the 1, 2, 3. Yes, it stopped. The finish it, the running correctly. Then change the word, like this time the 4x4, and run it. It works. No matter what word you use, this program. So while is working in any size of the move. Why? Because it used such a condition instead of the number of move. Okay, so this is the benefit. This is the power of while loop. So while loop, you can just run as many as possible continuously to until when this condition is true. Okay, so that is the while loop, and we use a lot such a while loop. Okay, so if you do not have the Cater program in your file, please download it again. Then after the class, you can test it. If you already took the season 1 before, you don't have to. We already did a lot of this. Okay, so that is the move, and then the key part is this one. So this front is clear. Instead of this one is only works for Carol, not in your Python program. So from now on, we are not going to use the front is clear unless you are doing the Carol program. Instead, we are going to give the test function or what? Boolean. Anything, any equation, any expression that return the Boolean, that will be fine. So that is the same as the statement. Test statement we learned in the last class, the if statement. Okay, so let's see what kind of that. Wow, this is we already did. So Boolean, the last class. So x, what is the value of x? So first we can evaluate 1 is less than 2. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? It's not true. So true will be assigned to the 1 equal is assigned. It's not equal statement. So x will be true. What happened in your memory? So x variable will be created, then the true will be stored. Okay, so this is the Boolean variable. Similarly, so when you see this one, it looks like there's something wrong. No, it's okay. This is a normal expression, especially it's a Boolean expression. So 5 is equal to 4. Yes, it's a true or false. 5 is equal to 4. Is it true or false? False, yes, very nice. Brandon, Samuel, Daniel, very nice. It's a false will be assigned to y. So false will be assigned. Then we can use this one in the test function here. Condition like this. Okay. What if I want to directly assign the value like the true or false? Yes, you can do that. But don't forget, do not give the quotation mark. Okay. If you give the quotation mark, this is no longer the Boolean data type. So let's practice. So you can click the Python console. Python console. Then why don't you type is raining equal to false? Then enter. Okay. Then why don't you check the right hand side? So what is the data type of the is raining? What is the data type? what is the data type of the is raining? Yes, it's a Boolean. Okay, what about this way? So this time is sheltering. This time I'd like to give the quotation mark true. So what is the data type of the is sheltering? String? String? Yes. So this is a string. So if you give the true with a quotation mark, it's no longer Boolean. So you cannot use in this the here. So you must use a true or false. Boolean. In other words, the Boolean will be returned in this the conditional statement. Then you can use in the while loop. Okay, very nice. Then what about this one? What's the meaning of this? So you can see this. The while loop. So play again is a Boolean data type. So Boolean data type. So what about here? So we can get the input. Okay. So input is equal to y. If yes, so this is a true. So play again will be true. If different, it's a false. So this is a false like that. So we will use such a way. So this part should be always true or false. So you can forget everything except this part. While loop, when you are using while, this part should be true or false. You can just remember this part, the true or false. Okay. So while in Python is the exactly same as the in Carol, but except we are not going to use the test function. Like the front is clear. It's only for the Carol. From now on, you are going to create your test that create the true or false. Okay. Then when is the best time? Can I use the while every time? So that's the issues. Okay. Even though you understand, so like to think about you learn the Spanish. Okay. I'm not very good as I do not know it. Actually, frankly speaking, I do not know anything about the Spanish, but you learn the Spanish or any second language, or like the Korean or the French. So you can get the A plus A from exam and such a thing. So you know the grammar, you know the vocabulary. The problem when you meet the person native the French, it's very hard. Okay, you don't know when you need to use I can use this one, when I can use this. So same thing. While statement is very simple and we understand, but the problem is when can I use the while loop? So here's the question. So there are two cases. So first case, somebody asks you for each family member, ask a menu for a dinner. Okay, you are going to make the programming code. Okay, they're using the Python or whatever. But the problem is for each family member, ask a menu for a dinner. Another problem is every day, please keep writing a letter to Senate until the bill is passed. Okay, so you are going to code the Python code, create the Python code. So which one you can use the while loop? Number one or number two? Which one is the better case to use the while loop? Number two, number two, number two. So if you think the number two, please, you can use the yes. So now I realize that there are many other, not only thumbs up, there are many other the emoticon. I just realized I didn't know that every time when I open the screen share, it's not easy to see the emoticon. But today I realized that. So if you think the number two is correct, please give me yes. Otherwise, you can give the no. Wow, we have a lot. Yes, right. The Brandon and uh, the Ian somewhere. Yes, right. So answer is this one. The reason is that if you do not know how many times, so we cannot specify how many iteration, how many loop in the while. Only the condition. Condition means here until the beer is passed. So this will be condition of the while statement. Then keep writing a letter. However, in this case, how many family member you have? Family member. So I have it 4. So you know how many times you can the loop. So this time you don't have to check the condition. No, instead you can do it 4 times checking the menu as the menu. If you have the 2 family member, only 2 times. So for in this case we can use full loop. So full, there is a hint. So next class we will discuss about how to use a full loop. So this is the really good example to know, to decide which case I can use the full loop or while loop. So this is the rule of thumb. So if you know how many times, if you know how many times of the loop, how many times the iteration, how many times the repeat, you can use the full loop. However, if you do not know how many times, in, instead you know the condition of the start, even sometimes no condition. So if you do not know how many times, it will be while loop. This is a simple rule. So this while and for loop are used really, really a lot. Okay. So keep in mind that this next class, the next episode, I'm going to ask this one again, whether you remember. Okay. So this is a while. Before we start the practice, this is what's going on when you are using the while. This is important to understand how the while loop is working. Okay, don't read this one. So you don't have to spend a lot of time. Just follow the explanation. So when you start the while loop, first check the test. Test means true or false. Okay. If true, going to the this. Run the statement. This can be the code block, okay? Which means you need to keep the indentation over here. So this will be run all together. Okay, then at the end of statement of the body, then go back to the test again. Then test it. Then if yes, then do it again. Okay, everything is done, then go back to the test again. If yes, do it again. Okay? Forever. Until when? If test is a force, this one is a force, do not go inside. Do not go inside the body. Instead, in case of force, then you can go to the next statement of the while loop out of code block. Okay, one more time. You don't have to read this. Okay, sometimes the details explanation is much more complicated. Instead, just follow me. If first we are going to start the test, if true, then run the code block. Okay, at the end of the code block, go back to this test and test it again. If true, then run it again. Then go back to the test. If false, then do not go to the code block. Instead, out of while loop. Then run the next, the command. Okay, so this is a simple rule. So what if in the while loop in Carol, it's actually the same thing. If this one is true, and the move. If not, then the move to the end of after the while loop and run the other code like this one. So in Python is the same thing. So play again is the variable Boolean variable. It's a Boolean. So it can be a function, it can be variable, it can be statement, whatever. But it should be true or false. So if true, do it. Then check it again, test it again. If false, then go to the here. Very simple. Okay. So let's learn how to use a while loop using the problem example. So today's the first problem is guess my number. So I think that you already know how to guess the number. So let's think about suppose that I'm going to guess the one of the number 1 through 100 or 99. Okay, let's play the game. So I'm thinking one number in my mind. Okay, so why don't you guess my number? How can you start? Anyone can start. Just the guess my number. You can just guess my number. No, it's too low. Too low. It's too low. The 50 too low. 80 is too high. 80 is too high. 60 is too low. 70. Wow, 75. Right. Okay. So here is the how it works. You can start one of the number. Yes. Okay. Like in this case, the 50. It's a good idea. Start in the middle. It doesn't have to, but it's a good idea. It's a half and half. So 50. So if you are guessing the 48, for example, 50 is too high. You can return the too high. So let's say your number is the 48. So then the next guess is the 0 to 1 to the 49 because the 50 is correct. So 1 through 59. So half the 25. It's too low because 48 is bigger than that. And keep doing. So that is the strategy and the solution of the guess my number. So we are going to start to solve the problem. So how can we create the my number? We can use the random. Last class we learned how to use the random number, random generator. So we can import the random, then create a random number 1 through 99. Okay, then finally you are going to guess the number. How it works? So like until you correct, then we are going to run the code like this. Okay, so why don't you open your guess my number. Okay, so let's start together. So this is starting. So then next thing is we need to guess the number. So why don't you add the guess the number? So guess. So you can input. Please follow me. You don't have to watch the screen. Instead, please follow me. So you can enter the input over here. Okay. I'm going to slow down for you guys to follow me. Okay, then what is the next thing? What is the next thing? You need to check whether this is the low or high, right? So using what? Oh, by the way, before that, we need to check whether my guess is a secret number. Yes or no. If not, then we can enter. If yes, we can done. So we need to check here. Guess is the same. Secret number. Like this. Okay. So guess is not secret number, which means if guess is the same as the secret number, what is that? It's a false, right? Be careful. If guess is not same as the secret number, meaning is different, it's true. Same and false. In case of same, we out of the while loop. Then it's correct. So what's the meaning? It's the same. If they are the same, then false, then the out of the loop, like that. Okay, so then why don't you follow me until this one? Okay, then the next problem is, so first we have the secret number, but we need to check. Then the next, after you check whether your number and the secret number, your guess, and the secret number is the same or not. After you check, we need to give the what? Whether this is the bigger or high or low. So we need to change the order like this. So checking the number of the order like this, then we can guess the new number. That makes sense, right? Okay. So far, if you can follow me, please give me thumbs up. Then I can see how many of you can follow me. So I'm showing the step by step. How can we solve the problem, the guess my number with a while loop. It's not complete code yet. Okay, don't worry. So how many of you can follow me? Okay, it will not run correctly. Okay, here. What do you think? This code will be running correctly or not? What will be the missing part? Anyone? So this is our strategy, our idea. So first we are going to check the secret number is the same as or not as the guess, whether it's correct or not. If not, then if they are different, then we are going to enter this. So whether this is a low or high or low, then we can guess another number. Then check it and this, and check it and this. So any problem? What if you run this code? Why not? Just to run. So then guess my number. What happened? What happened? Why this is the error? Guess is not defined, which means before you check the secret number or not, we should have the guess. Even though you put the guess inside the loop, but before that, we should have the one more guess. So this is called the fence post problem. How many of you remember the fence post problem that we learned last year, probably the June or something like that? Anyone who remember the fence post problem? Nobody? So it's quite a while before. So let me explain. So if you'd like to build a fence in your backyard and front yard, then this is a pole, okay, post, and this is the panel. So if you are going to build a panel like this one, in this case, how many? 6 of them, 6 panel. Then how many posts do you need? How many posts? If you construct the fence, so you are going to use the 6 panels. Then how many posts do you need? 7. Yes, right. Minion and the Maria, the Katie. Very nice. So because we need one more post, one more post, then what? The panel, because the panel needs the 2 posts to both sides. So if you have another panel, one more. But first time you should have the post. So if we consider, regard panel as the high or low, checking that. High or low, high or low. Then post is the asking the number. Then our previous this code is the here. If you see this one, so this part is the panel, and this part is the gas. The gas is the post. Then we need one more post. Then one more post. Then what? The panel. This. But we have the same thing. So we are going to add one more the post at the beginning like this. So that means we are going to use the one more the input before we enter the loop. Loop is like this one. Repeat, 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 and repeat, repeat, and repeat. So because of this, the pattern, we need one more guess before we start. This is called the fence post problem. So fence post problem happen a lot in loop, especially while loop. So what will be the solution here? What will be the solution? We can add, yes, we can add the copy and paste. You can copy and paste this one, like this. Okay, then I will give the couple of minutes to complete the Discord. Okay, why don't you add the true? If guess is less than the secret number, then print and guess the next number like that. So you can put the using the if statement. Why don't you print low or high? Okay. So why don't you complete this part and run your program? If you are done, please give me thumbs up. If you have any question, if you don't understand, please ask to the Erwin or the Trinity. They are waiting for you or question. If you are done, please give me thumbs up. Wow, Maria. Very nice. Anyone else? Let's see who did. Katie, very nice. Good job. It will be the little bit more complicated than the previous one because we are using the kind of control statement. So we are going to move the here and there and like that. So you should be able to use very familiar with using such a control statement if full of while. Then the best way practice. So please follow me. And if you cannot follow me, just type as it is. So let's solve the problem together. So here, so we are going to check whether my guess is less than secret number. Okay, secret number. Don't forget the colon. Then this means print your guess is too low, right? Then what will be? Yes, we learned the answer. Yes, very nice. So print your guess is too high. Looks good. Okay. So we can add the if statement that we have learned the last time. So run the program. So why don't you try enter new guess? So 50 is too low. So that means the 75 is too low. Wow. So 92, 97, 87 is too high. Wow. So then the 80. 80 is too low. 84 is too high. 82 And too high, 81. Yes, finally I got it. So if you can play the Guess My Number game, please give me thumbs up. I'm going to give the time to complete the Discord. Yes, Samuel did. Very nice. And who else? Who else? If you do not know, follow me. Always you can find the solution on the solution folder. You can click the Guess My Number, and you can see the solution code over here. Okay. I do not recommend to use the solution right away. Okay, very nice. Then see the code with the Anyone Python screen. Then you will see how it works. This code probably same as yours, so we are going to get the secret number. How? Randomly. Then in your memory, it will be created. Suppose that it was 92 this time. Then ask the enter your new guess because of what? Fans pose the problem. We need to add 2 times. One is inside the loop, another one is the outside the loop. This is the first post because of fans post the problem. Okay, then my guess is 50. Then check whether 50 is the same as the different as a secret number. Is it different? True, right? So this will be true. That means we are going to run this one. Okay, starting from the first comment, it's a if. It's less than that? Yes, it's true. It's less than that. So 50 is less than 95. So your guess is too low. We are not going to go to this one. Instead, the next command. So enter new guess. So we can do the new guess. Then the new guess is like this time 95. So 95 still is not the same as the 92. So it will be false. So then, is it? No. Then which means your guess is too high. Then going back to ask the new number. So this time the 92. So 92, then go back to here. While so then the 92 is not the same as 92, which means it's a false. A false means not enter this one. Instead, we are going to the next command of the while loop after while loop. Then print this. Print the screen number. Screen number is from the memory. You can read and write the number like that. Okay. The next, one more problem. So we have only 5 minutes. So I'm going to try my best. So anyone who knows the name of this one? If you know, pretty much you are good. Engineer, yeah, it's very nice. A marvelous engineer. It's from X-Men, but I don't know much about the animations, the movie, but it's from the Marvel series. So it's a Sentinel. So what's the meaning of Sentinel? What's the meaning of Sentinel? What's the main job? A guard. And also in Korea, so do you know that in Korea, the military service is compulsory, it's mandatory for 2 years, around 2 years nowadays. Then one of the main job is this Sentinel. Watch your military camp every time. Okay. So you can see the military camp and watch everywhere and protect your member and so on. So we are using such a Sentinel in while loop. Can you guess where we can use the while loop, the Sentinel? So as I said, if this one is true, condition is true, this will be forever, right? Again and again and again. Sometimes it's forever. It's called the infinity loop. So to protect your program from the infinity loop, infinity loop, so we are going to use such a centennial number. So centennial number is the way to get out of the infinity loop. First, here's the question. Do you think the infinity loop is good for the computer or not? What do you think? Infinity loop is good or bad? No, absolutely not. So infinity loop is a waste of your the computer resources. So you should avoid that. Okay. So you should avoid such a infinity loop. So there should be way to exit the such a infinity loop. How? Using such a centennial number. Okay, so let me introduce a centennial number using the example. So it's called the centennial loop problem. So we are going to enter the number like the 10, 20, 30, whatever. Until when? So until -1. -1, this program will be ended. So at that time, -1 is called the centennial number. So we are going, this is the, who decide what will be the centennial number? Who decide? You are going to decide. In your program, you are going to decide the centennial number. Okay, so let's open the code, the centennial loop. Then here, centennial number is here's the question. What is the name of the such a variable out of the main function? What is the name of this variable? Constant? Yes. So this is the constant variable. So constant variable can be seen anywhere in your program. So we are going to use this centennial number, the for the to control the while loop. Okay, then. So here's the initial. So I created this code. Let's see the code quickly. Total is 0. Then while loop. And num is not the same as a centennial, which means unless -1, we run this code. So, however, if -1, so centennial number is -1, num is -1, then it will be the force. So it will be axis. So this is called the centennial number. Okay, then do you think that this code will be running before you run this code? Why don't you? Yes. Is it okay or not? What do you think? No. This is called what? This one. Fans post problem. Okay. So because of fans post problem, it will not run. So why don't you run? Then you will see the error. So centennial loop. Then you will see local variable num is referenced before assignment. It's not the actually assigned, but try to use. So what will be this is because of the fans post problem. What will be the solution? We can add one more post before we start. So we can add here. So you can, why don't you open the Sentinel, the loop.py file, then add it. Okay. Then you can run the program. So enter number 10 and 20, 30. Then -1. Do you think it works correctly? We are going to add up the input number. So 10, 20, 30, but output is the centennial number is working. So centennial number is working like this one. So when I type the -1, it will exit the while loop. So it's okay. But the problem is like this 10, 20, 30, then 49. is the sum of the input number. There's something wrong. So why don't you fix by yourself? So we will use the 5-1 minute. So why don't you fix the problem? Try to solve the problem by yourself. So centennial number is working right now. So then the fast post problem is solved, but so still doesn't work. Okay. So why? And try to fix it. Very. It's you don't have to make the complicated. Just follow the step by step. So what will be the problem? Which part? Here is the solution. So first, if you input, you are going to add the number first before you ask the number. Okay. Then add another number. Then go back to here. So unless -1 and add up and add the number and go back to here. If the input is -1 and -1 is not the same as -1, which is a false, and out of this. So our solution is like this. Delete this, then move this. Then run the program. 10, 20, 30. Then -1. Right now it's the 60. So it's the correct. Okay, very nice. So this is the how it works. So on the Anyone Python screen. So please follow me step by step. Then the centennial number is the constant value, -1. So using -1, we can exit. So total is 0. So then num, because of fast post problem. So we instead, in addition to the loop, we are going to add one more post like this. Okay, then check it. It's the first input number is 2. So then it's the add to the total and another number. This time it's 3. So 3 will be added and it's not centennial number. So go ahead and until -1. In case of -1, then it is the false, then the out of the loop and the display like this. Then finally it will be ended like the way. Okay, so then last thing, there is the solution for the centennial loop. So centennial loop, sometimes we can use this one. If you use the while loop without this, so if you remove this, then this will be, this is called the infinity loop. So for example, let's try. So here, why don't you delete this? Oops, you don't have to delete all this. And input, we are going to keep. Hold on. Then instead, true. So my idea is instead of this one, we are going to add the number. Okay, then exit at the add-up, and this is a true, and enter. If a centennial number input, then exit. That is my idea. However, if you run this program like this, so 10, 20, 30, and even centennial number, it doesn't exit. So no way to exit this while loop because it's always true. So this is called the infinity loop. So we are going to add the control of the while loop to save my program. There's no way to exit. This time you can exit Control C. That's the only way to stop. Control with C. Control with C is the only way to exit the while loop. So here, if we get out of this one, if the noun is centennial. Centennial. Then break. So break is the command to forcefully exit the loop. So then we can make the while loop without fence post problem. So in this case, we don't have to worry about the fence post problem. Instead, get the input and check it inside. And total is this one. Then get the input because it's always a true. And the loop forever until the none is the sentinel number, like that is. Okay, so why not run the program? 10, 20, 30, and -1. Then the 60 is correct. So this way is the one of the way. It's like the idiom. So if you code a lot the later, so you will see a lot of times such a loop with the sentinel number. Or you can use the previous way, like the this one. So at that time, always worry about the fans post problem. Either way is fine. It's kind of the idiom. Okay. Thanks so much for your attending today. So please practice your while loop. So you can complete the code with a solution if you do not know the answer and the practice. The next class we will cover another loop, which is the for loop. Thanks so much for your attending and enjoy the weekend. Thank you.